Hey everybody. Yes, I'm a moron. Welcome to the first actual clip guitar thing of the week thing. I got nothing. Basically what we're going to do is each week, we'll do different topics, different things. Rhythm guitar, lead guitar, guitar riffs, and what have you. And I'm going to trust that people who might be watching this clip, these clips, already know their basic chords, their bar chords, and such. And we will go into details on some tips as I go along regarding those things. But most likely, I think it's safe to say that players are ready to play and get into some, get into the nitty-gritty dirt band of all of this stuff. So what I wanted to do is on this first clip is basically make sure that we're all on the same page, this page, regarding the pentatonic patterns. They're going to be the most widely used scale that not just guitar players, but all musicians will use in all styles of music for riffs, fills, lead stuff, everything. And it's really important that you know the basics, the foundation. Number one, there are 5 patterns. I can't tell you how many times I've done guitar lessons where I've talked to a new student who may have been playing for a little while, and I'll ask him or her, are you familiar with the pentatonic scales? And then they'll say, scales, because they only know that one right there, pentatonic pattern number 1. And it's not necessarily the number 1 pattern in regards to some music theory, because it doesn't start on the major root note and blah 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 blah. That's the boring stuff that one of these days I'll make a video that's called Music Theory to Fall Asleep By, and all it will be is me talking about the basics of music theory for about 2.5 minutes, because usually under 2 minutes people are with how exciting music theory can be. But we want to make it fun here. But there is some basic, fundamental, what I like to call practical music theory, and in our case practical guitar theory, that you definitely want to have down so that when you watch these clips that we'll be doing, nothing is going to seem kind of foreign. You're going to know what we're talking about. So first thing you need to do is go buy. You don't have to buy anything. Go to my website, which is www.DaveTheGuitarPlayer.com. It's probably going to say that down here somewhere. And stop by the Guitar Thing of the Week page on the website. Stop by the whole website, every page if you can, preferably the one about signing up for guitar lessons or the one about downloading some music that I have available. That would be cool. And or the upcoming shows page to come see me play with some of the bands that I play with. So shameless plugs are over. But go to the Guitar Thing of the Week page and download the information that is there for you. It's for free. You'll get, for at least this particular topic for today, the 5 pentatonic scale patterns. It's 1 pentatonic scale, but 5 patterns that you're going to be able to utilize up and down the neck. And the other page is the common fingering for it. Just to kind of give you guys an idea of what it's all about. So, without further ado, let me just run these patterns for you and show you how, if you only know 1 or 2, you can have a great long career coming up with cool stuff from those patterns. But we want you to have every note available to you on the fretboard. So let's show you that right now. And let me click Stop Capture. All right. My table has a tone. Hey, harmony. Anyway, again, the entertainment is for my own enjoyment in most cases. Okay, so what I want to do right now is walk everybody through these 5 patterns that you hopefully have downloaded for free at DaveTheGuitarPlayer.com, and actually play them for you. These are just all diagrams that you'll see on any website and any guitar instruction book. So they're nothing new, but I just want to make sure that anybody who's following any of these video clips knows that these are the ones that I am referring to. And so the way that they're listed here is pattern number 1 is here at the second fret. And the best way to practice them is just as a normal scale, low note to high note and back down again. Pattern number 2 will connect to that pattern, will connect to pattern number 1 via the second note of the pattern you already played, and that's how it's going to work for the whole neck. So if pattern number 1 was here, and this is the second note of pattern number 1, that means pattern number 2 is going to start from that point right there. So here's pattern number 2 connected. This is the second note of pattern number 2, so that means this is the first note of pattern number 3. Second note of pattern number 3 starts the first note of pattern number 4. That note was a glitch. Mark it down on the calendar that I made a mistake, because it's such a rare thing for me to have happen. Sorry. Pattern number 4, this is the second note of pattern number 4, so pattern number 5 starts right here. And the second note of pattern number 5 starts, in this case, is right here at the 14th fret, which is 12 frets higher than where we started, so it's the octave of the first pattern. So this is pattern number 1 starting up here. And you heard my droid go off in the background there, possibly. So we're back at pattern number 1, and we want you to use the entire fretboard. So pattern number 2 would start again from the second note of pattern number 1, which would get us pattern number 2 at this position. And if you got the frets, use them. Pattern number 3. And if you got 24 frets, knock yourself out and go for as high as you can there. So that's the explanation. I gotta start looking at the camera more. That's the explanation of why you need to know 5 patterns, because now at this point, whatever you play is wide open to any spot on the fretboard. So if you're playing something in A, everything there is, except for the awful notes, was just uses of the pentatonic patterns by using them in the key that we're in, and then using the 5 patterns to get us across the fretboard. You can do that by just simply jumping up and down across the fretboard. You can do it by sliding. Or just, connecting. And so forth. So I'm going to start warming up before I start doing these videos so I don't have as many weird sounding notes that I don't want to hear. So those are the 5 pentatonic patterns. The other page that you hopefully printed out is this one, listed as common fingerings. The one thing I definitely want to remind everybody is we all have different hands and things to deal with the hand. You might have an injury from a sports injury from high school or something, and certain fingers might not be able to stretch to certain distances. Finger placement for everything is player preference. And in many cases, players are going to use different fingerings for the exact same pattern depending on where they are on the fretboard. I always like to recommend using as many fingers as you can, pinky. If you got the extra finger, why not use it? So even though I may play pentatonic pattern number 1 with my first and fourth finger combined with my first and third, down here where the frets are wider, if I'm up here playing something, instead of kind of crunching my fingers together like that to get those same 4 notes up on top, and then having my fingers feel like they're kind of crowding in on one another, I may just switch to 1 and 3. Besides the fact of just, getting a little more comfort here, now I've opened up my fingering so that if I wanted to play these with 1 and 3, I can use my pinky to get my note that's in the next pattern. So anyway, so I just want to make sure that everyone knows the 5 pentatonic patterns. Practice them and get comfortable with them, and then we'll start to show you what you can do with them melodically next time. So thanks.